Tom Minning.
Meredith Minning.
Trent Minning.
Melania Minning.
Melanie Minning. This is public speaking. This is my third speech, information speech. And the title of my speech is Dementia, how it speeds up during the process when the patient enters the nursing home. I'm a CNA and I work for a nursing home, and I see this on a daily basis. First of all, dementia is not a specific disease. There's several classes of dementia. Dementia actually is a group of symptoms that affect the brain. What happens is brain cells actually die that are in the brain, and these cells do not rejuvenate. So if you do an MRI or a CAT scan on a person who has dementia and look at the pictures, you will see big black holes where there used to be cells and matter, and in that brain matter holds long-time memory and short-term memory, and dementia destroys all of these. Dementia, they're really not sure what causes dementia. Stress during a person's life can cause dementia. When a person enters a nursing home, because most of the reasons why individuals enter a nursing home is because the family just cannot take care of the loved one anymore. So they are placed in a nursing home. Number one, the patient is very confused, very angry, anxious, and has no clue where they are. They think they're in a hospital. This is one of the lies most of the family tell them at first to get them to stay. Guilt goes in what strong ways through the family members. Guilt because they couldn't take care of their loved one, and guilt because their loved one's there. One thing of advice that I want to get through in this speech, during the information I want to pass out to the people who are listening to the speech is, don't stop visiting your loved one, because too many times visitations get too stressful, because what happens during the visitation is the patient constantly pleads and begs to go home when the family member who placed them there knows they cannot take them home. So just to avoid the stress of the family member, they just stop seeing their family in the nursing home. Eventually, that person will think that they have no family. The family is dead as dementia progresses. We see people come in and they're walking just fine. And then the next thing you know, they're using a walker. And next thing you forgot, they're in a wheelchair. And then they're on oxygen. And then they won't eat. And then they don't know day from night. And they may be incontinent sometimes, which means they can go to the restroom when they can feel the urge. But incontinence comes along in various stages through the process. And most of the time, they become incontinent very quickly. So briefs, we go through a lot of briefs at the nursing home. Visually, this is called a gait belt. What this does is it wraps around the patient's waist. And you use the back of it, you tighten it up and use the back of it to grab the patient and steady them if they're not on a Hoyer lift. You don't want to grab a patient's arms, because this part can be broken very easily. So the gait belt is what they use. I have a 96-year-old man who just came into our facility not too long ago, and he's been wanting to go home so badly. And it's kind of ironic that he's a World War II vet. He was also taken prisoner during that time, escaped, and still went on to another country and continued to fight the war. But he asks me all the time, why is he in prison? He's reverting back to World War II when he was a prisoner. He thinks he's in prison now. But dementia does not just relate to older people either. We have young people come in for rehab. We have a man who's not much older than my husband now, He came in because he broke his left leg, broke the femur in several places, the tibia and the ankle. He was in a full cast from his hip to his ball of his foot. And even he has now is showing signs of dementia. One big thing with dementia is called sundowning. What that means is when the sun goes down, the patients really go cuckoo. They, if that's even appropriate to say, they have illusions. They see things, they hear things, they play little tricks to try to get what they want with you when they know there are restrictions on certain things. But you don't have to be an older person to get dementia, and you don't have to be an older person to be admitted to a nursing home. Nursing homes are also for rehab. The thing with the CNA and all the nursing staff is you need to leave your problems at the door. For a dementia patient, the best thing is to see a smiling face. You have to have a smile on your face, and you have to be, no matter how mean they may get, you're the one to keep calm, keep upbeat, and keep smiling. Another thing a nursing home does to help prevent dementia is they have an activity center to keep the patient's mind, their mental state, aware of what they're doing. That helps slow the dementia process down. There are some drugs, they're not real sure if they work or not. We probably won't know for another 20 years whether they work or not. But we do know that mental exercise and not just sitting there all day staring into nothing, which is what most of them do, helps. They have to be involved, make their own decisions, make their own choices. Even if it's choosing what color clothes to wear that day, at least they're making a choice. And the more you have them do for themselves, like take off their shirt, untie their shoes, the better off they're going to be. My conclusion for this speech is that I want to stress the point that it happens in every family. I had to put my own mother in a nursing home, so I know the guilt that you go through when you place your family member into a nursing home. Please don't focus on that guilt. Focus that your loved one is being taken care of day in and day out. And please do not stop your visits with your loved one. When you stop the visits, that encourages the loved one to just forget their prior life completely. Dementia, well, another thing I do want to mention in this speech is even though when a patient comes into the building and they may have a small amount of dementia, when they get into the community, it's like a little town inside a nursing home, and when they get into the community of the other patients there who are advanced stages of dementia, it's like a cold. It's like you catch it. That sounds unrealistic, but actually if you are around dementia patients all the time, you never leave, you will develop dementia, some sort of dementia. People like me, part of the staff, our cars are outside the door. We know we can leave at any time. We know we have our possessions. We know we have our family waiting for us at home. The people who live in the nursing home, they don't know that. They just feel they've been dumped, and they feel their belongings have been sold or stolen by their family, and their family has betrayed them. That is the key reason that as a CNA, LPN, RN, a kitchen worker and dietary needs to always be positive, happy, upjoy. Any kind of laughter you get out of these people, or any kind of time you get these people to even take a bite of food, is an accomplishment. It improves their quality of life. And their quality of life is very important. It may not mean nothing to somebody who's 20 or 30. When I was 30, I had no clue. But now that I'm 45, and I look back, there's an old saying, is what you sow, you will reap. That is a very true statement. But when you're young and you do all these certain things, you're not thinking about when you turn 80 and you can't take care of yourself anymore. So my prayer would be that when I'm 80 and my children have to place me in a nursing home, that there is a CNA who can care less what I did in my past and just take care of me. And I hope my family feels the same way about that too. Sorry.